For today's class, I'm just going to recommend that you bring a strap. This one's an elastic strap, which I've been using for quite a while now, and I just absolutely love it from B Yoga. Also, we can have a block, one of these size that might be a green chip foam style block, and a blanket, because we'll be coming down and we'll be on our knees and we'll be doing some lunges. So I just want you to be prepared to have a soft landing for the knees. Let's start off by laying on our backs. Taking the hands and having them right on the abdomen. Just feeling the sensation of the fingers, that tactile sense, bringing awareness to the mind of what it feels like in the belly for breathing, and just heighten the concept of breathing as an abdominal breath. Just focusing with a soft focus concept of the mind to the body and breathing in. And I'm breathing out. And then now on purpose, let's make the inhales that you take the lower back down. Maybe the chin slightly raises for the inhale, and then the exhale, allow the back to unfurl. The chin just naturally tucks as a result of that. So it's happening mostly at the lumbar spine. So the inhale, we go through the sacrum, through the top of the pelvis, through the lumbar, all the way up to the head and neck. And then we exhale, starting again back down with the tail, and that's going to just unfurl. And then there's this little back bend that you can sense of the lumbar spine. So just carry that on and see if you can breathe in. Maybe it's a count of 6, and then you exhale, maybe it's a count of 6. Okay, so see what happens as you continue this. And then the next inhale, smushing the lumbar down. Keep it here as you exhale. Now make the inhale the back bend. So the inhale, you unfurl the spine, the lumbar lifts, the chin tucks in. And exhale, smushing the lumbar down. The back goes down, the chin just slightly elevates, just as a result of the movement of the spine. Inhale. And exhale. So continue this at your own pace, but imagine that it's about an even cadence of in to an even cadence of out. And then we come into an inhale, and then the next exhale, continue for the down smoosh of the spine, and then just come into a neutral spine and stay there for a couple of breaths, just noticing what it feels like in the mind and body. Okay, let's put the soles of the feet together. And just for a couple of breaths, let's just feel what it feels like to allow the lumbar to lift and feel breathing. And if this is too much, then smush it down. But I just want you to see what it feels like with the lumbar lifted, the bums on the ground and the backs on the ground. And you're just allowing the legs to kind of go out to the side, even a bit of a rib expansion just naturally. And then let's inhale like this, and then exhale, smoosh it down bit by bit, slowly seaming it up. And you notice that the legs might come up a little bit just naturally. Stay like this. Breathing. And then the next time we come, we're going to inhale, make that back bend again. And then exhale, smoosh it down bit by bit and allow the knees to actually come right together. Stay with the knees together. Inhale, make a back bend. Exhale, smoosh it down bit by bit, and then let the knees go out, maintaining the lumbar down on the ground. And then allow for a back bend. Inhaling. Exhaling, smoosh it down, knees together, keep the knees together, inhale, back bend. Exhale, smooshing the back down, tuck the chin in with this, let the knees go out. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, smoosh down, keep the chin in, take the knees together. Inhale to back bend. Exhale, smooshing down, chin in, knees out. Inhale to back bend. Exhale, smoosh down, knees draw together, back down. And then just relax. Take the feet a little bit apart. Pause and notice what this feels like. You may even allow the feet to be a bit wider than the hips and then take the knees together. If this is comfortable and they can just like hang like that, stay like this for a couple breaths. Okay, we'll come into another one. So now come balanced with the feet about hip distance apart or sitting bone apart. And let's keep the downward smoosh of the lumbar spine as we breathe in and out. And we'll just be moving the right knee. The shoulders are down, the ribs are snugged in, the chin is slightly tucked. And let's just take the right knee out. And we're not taking it so that this left hip lifts up. We're just taking it out to where it goes. And then you're just bringing it back up. Okay, so then just relax and just know that that's the feeling. So the next time we do it, every time we move this knee, we're going to have the head follow with the knee. So let's take the lumbar down, smush, chin tucked in, ribs snugged in, the nose and the knee go out and up. Maintain connection and they go out and up and out and up and out and up and out and up. One more time, out and up. Relax the back. Breathe naturally. Okay, now we're going to down smoosh again. Contain, chin slightly tucked in. We're going to take the nose and the knee out to the side again, but we're going to keep this leg out to the side as we drag the foot down to the bottom edge of the mat. And then we're going to come back up, and they're going to come up, and then we're going to relax the spine. And then we're going to down smush, okay? So let's do this now. So start with it down smooshed and contained in with the ribs and the chin, and we'll take it out. We'll go down, bring it back up, take the knee up, relax the back, make it a back bend. Smoosh it down, out to the side, down to the bottom of the mat. Come back up with the foot, the nose and the knee face up to the ceiling. And again, down, up, nose and knee to ceiling. Out, down, up, nose and knee to ceiling. Oh, we forgot to do the relax of the back bend. Smush it down, take it out, go down, come up, nose and knee to ceiling, a back bend, and then just relax. Okay, now we'll do this again, but once we'll do the same, we'll include the back bend throughout each time. So we'll smush down and it goes out, and the nose goes out, and then the nose and the knee with your legs straight face the ceiling. Then they go back out again, and then they come back up and they face the ceiling again. Okay, and then they relax. The back is a back bend on purpose. All right, so we'll start with the downward smush. Chin tucked in, nose and knee out, go down, roll to the ceiling, roll out to the side, come back up, nose and knee to ceiling, back bend. Take the back down, out to the side, down, roll to the ceiling, roll out to the side, come back up and roll to the ceiling, back bend. Smush down, out to the side, down, roll to the ceiling, roll out, come back up, face the ceiling, back bend, downward smush and out and down, roll to ceiling, roll out, come up, roll to ceiling, back bend, downward smush, out to the side, down, roll to the ceiling, roll out, come up and roll to the ceiling and back bend, and then neutral. Pause and breathe here. Now we'll do this on the other side. So it's going to be all on the left side this time. So find the downward smush. Now for this first one, we're keeping just the downward smush and going out and in, and then we add the back bend. And just wanted to remind that if the back bend isn't working for you, if it's too much activity for the low back, then you can just keep it as a downward smush, because that's a little bit more contained. So see what works for you. Okay, downward smush, shoulders down, chin slightly tucked in, standing quality through the feet. The nose and the knee go out to the left and up, and out, and up, and out, and up, and out, and up. One more time, out, and up, and relax and be there. Okay, we're going to add the leg going down, smush it down, nose and knee out, glide the foot down, glide the foot up, nose and knee to ceiling, back bend. Smush down, out to the side, down to the bottom, come back up, nose and knee to ceiling, back bend. Smush it down, out to the side, down to the bottom, come back up, nose and knee to ceiling, relax the back and make a back bend. Smush it down, out to the side, down, up, nose and knee to ceiling, back bend. Smush it down, out to the side, down to the bottom, come back up, nose and knee to ceiling, relax. Stay here for a few breaths. Okay, align your legs. And now we'll do the double roll to the ceiling. So when the leg is straight, we'll do that one. So now downward smush to start with. Nose and knee out to the left, down to the bottom. Roll the straight leg to the ceiling plus the nose. Roll them back out, glide them up, face the ceiling again. Back bend, smush it down, out to the side, down, roll, out, up, to ceiling, back bend, down, out, down to the bottom of the mat, roll to the ceiling, roll out, glide up, nose and knee to ceiling, out to, and back bend, and down, out to the left, down to the bottom, roll to the ceiling, roll to the side, come up, roll to the ceiling, back bend, smush it down, last one, out to the side and down, roll to the ceiling, roll to the side, come up and face the ceiling and back bend and relax. Stay here for a few breaths. Okay, good. Bring the knees up in towards the chest. And I'm just going to recommend that you reach over to get your block. So I'm using my blue block, but it might be a green chip foam block. Have the block between the thighs under the knees. And just like a way so it doesn't hit into your stomach. So you want more of it facing out. And the heels are coming in the direction of the sitting bones or the seat. And the feet are side by side. If you've got your toe spacers, you can wrap your toes around and make that crescent moon. Okay, tree hugging arms, smile massage twists. Taking it up to the left and away and up to the right and away. The head goes in the same direction that the knees are going. Just carry this on. Infusing the movement with your breathing. Containing at the perineum, so around the whole region of the pubic bone, the anal sphincter, and the sides of at the perineum by the legs, and we're suctioning all that up a little bit higher as well. We've got some containment in the belly and the spine and the pelvis. But we have room for breath and ease of movement. Okay, one more over to the left and one more over to the right. Come back into the center, take that down and just hold the knees in a nice, easy neutral. So whatever that feels like to you, that's neutral. Pause and just breathe in the stillness. Okay, we're going to come into a piriformis stretch. So we're going to take the right ankle on top of the left knee thigh area. And some people thread the arms through the legs like this and draw this towards. So let's do that because it's a good one. Sometimes I hug around. Depends on the flexibility or your mood. Also, I have my shin more parallel to, say, the ground when I'm starting. But if that's hard on the knee, then you might want to tuck it in a little bit more or take it farther out. You know, just really look at the knees. We're looking also to have the movement happening at the thigh, the top of the thigh, the head of that femur bone. We're wanting that to roll out, and that's going to draw the knee out and away a little bit. Sometimes with your flexibility, this is going to be where you'll be with your piriformis stretch, and then you can just have different positions on the way. Okay, so as we thread through, I'm using my right elbow to just slightly lean that thigh out to the side. Okay, coming in. So what part do we have of strength and what part do we have of containment and what part do we have of gathering of the body of the legs towards the chest? So figure this out, that we're not wrenching the legs in. We're kind of feeling a bit gathered. Lengthen the lower back down to the ground, tuck the chin in. Find a room for breath, and we'll stay here for a little while. And then just slowly release. And let's find this on the other side. So again, is this a different side? So maybe this is where we can find it best, where the right foot is on the ground still instead of lifted. Or you can hold it and support yourself with it a little bit lifted. Thread through, extend that left elbow to lean the thigh away so that it doesn't happen at the knee as much. And like, for example, if we just bring this knee in like that, that might be what you have to do, but it isn't going to be giving the piriformis the kind of conditioning that we're looking for here. So have your position that you've located and that you can sustain for a few breaths. See if you can imagine that the pelvis is squared, so we don't have one side lifting shorter or up in the air, that they're flat down on the ground, the back of the pelvis, ribs in, chin tucked. Slowly unfurl that and take the legs down, the feet down, and have a moment of pausing. Okay, so we're going to do something that after we've kind of loosened around through the back of the pelvis and a little bit through the legs, what I'm hoping is that we're going to be at a really good starting place for applying some strength. So if we start always when we're stiff, then we can just keep reinforcing some of the stiff shapings that we habituate. So bring the knees up and just shimmy and massage a couple times. And let's also just understand that if this doesn't work with your back just on the ground as it is, you might want to elevate because it'll make it much easier. And that might be your better starting place to put this block under the back of the pelvis. All right. So let's just check to see we have the legs bent, and we're looking to see that the shins are horizontal to the ground or parallel to the ground, and the arms come up to the ceiling. So smoosh the lumbar down, the chin comes in, contain around the perineum and around the pubic bone, suction those all the way up into the body, and then move your left leg and right arm only, keeping these ones where they are. So for example, this wants to come in and it'll stabilize, and that's a good action, but that's not what we're doing here. Okay, so left leg, right arm, come back up to neutral, take the right leg and the left arm and just back up, keep the lumbar smushed down. Okay, so I'm just going to call the leg, we're doing always opposite. Okay, left leg and up, right leg and up, left leg and up, right leg and up, left leg and up, right leg and up, left leg one more time, and right leg and up, and then just come easy. Take the feet down, and it's a nice idea to massage. Sometimes when we do that kind of a thing, it can be a bit gristly in the belly, so just massage it from side to side. So that rectus abdominis kind of contracts, so you can allow some of the fascia to move, some of the muscles to move around, the skin to move around. All right, pause and just have a breath. Good. Okay, you can either rock and roll to come up, or you can roll yourself over to the side. Moving yourself back a little bit on the mat, and let's extend the blanket out so that we can have a nice place for kneeling. Okay, coming into tabletop or all fours, positioning the hands basically a little bit in front of the armpits or right below, whatever's going to suit your wrists. We want to have this to be sustainable. So another way to do that is to come onto the fingers, the backs of the fingers, with the remaining fingers not curled in but coming up to the wrists and the thumbs face forward. So that's one way to do this. The knees are together or hip distance apart, and we'll just allow ourselves to move into little back bends and convex backs without a lot of direction of how that we're achieving this. So just feel a bit fluid. As we're doing this in this kind of fluid way, do start to take note of a few things. Like, for example, when we're in a back bend, it's this upper chest that's a bit harder to make in a back bend. So have more of a leaning or of a muscle use to extend this up than the back of the lumbar spine. And then when we come into the convex, it's the lumbar that's hard to move. So push a little bit more through the lumbar to make it more convex as you continue a few more times. Okay, and once you come back into the convex, just take yourself all nice and convexly back into a child's pose. Arms forward or at your side, maybe making a little pillow for your forehead. And then inhale, come up. Come back up into your tabletop, and we'll go around in some circles. So drop the belly and take it to the left and up and around to the right. So you can feel that the body is undulating, and we have movements around our shoulders as well. So the shoulders and the spine and the hips and the head and the neck, and we'll just allow them to kind of go as they will. And then the next time we come up to the sky, just land in a neutral and pause here. Drop the belly, take it over to the right and up and around, so we're reversing the direction of the circle. And then the next time we come back up and we're in that convex, take yourself back into child's pose. Have the sides of your feet together if you can. So the heels are slightly apart and the tops of the feet at the inner ankles are slightly together. Okay, pause here in child's pose. Inhale, coming up. So we're going to do a movement that we're going to lift this right leg, and we're going to have the heel coming towards the sitting bone, or just keep a bend in the knee. So for example, we're not going to straighten the leg out as we're doing this movement for this point. Okay, so feel for a second here that we're lengthening through the tail, and feel that the sitting bones smoosh up to the lumbar spine as if they're being pushed up, and it's plumping up this area. And just lift and lower this right leg. So we're not going super high, just to where we can go, where the hip doesn't come up. We're not doing that kind of fire hydrant-y thing. Okay, and down. And then just relax. And send length through the tail. Contract up at the sitting bones. Feel the quality of the hands as well, like you've got a really good kind of station here with your hands, and the left leg lifts and lowers, lifts and lowers. Lift and lower, and then come back into child's pose, just for a couple breaths. Inhale, coming up, and tuck the toes, and we'll come into downward facing dog. Widen the side ribs. Inhale, exhale, wedge the hands in the feet, pushing the mat apart. And just feel yourself in your downward facing dog. Shift your weight so that you're in your left hand and the right foot. And so this left knee just bends. Into all the hands and feet, and then shift into the right hand and the left foot, so the right knee just bends. Come back to balance. So now it's the right foot and left hand, and let's just see if we can lift this right arm off. Come down, step back, opposite side. Lifting the left hand, come down, lift the heels up really high, slowly lower them down, just to where they can be lowered, and then come down. If you need extra padding, we're going to come into a couple of lunges. So if you need some extra padding, then just fold the blanket over again so that you can have that. All right, just take the right leg forward. And we're going to stay forward here. Come onto the top of the back foot. And this region right here specifically, I want you to feel that as it's down in the ground. Because it's going to be down and it's going to be tugging on the mat and slightly tugging over to the center line of the body. Okay, so feeling this, contracting the whole leg on the left side. So you'll feel the glute, you'll feel the back of the leg, you'll feel like that hamstring connection, and this whole front line of the left leg. It's all gathering like it's being suctioned up into the groin. So we're suctioning it up, we're creating a little bit of tension, and then we're lifting the upper chest. And then let's just see if we can relax the muscle tension at the front of that left thigh. Keep it contracted slightly at the back of that left leg. Slowly come back. Take this right leg back so that you're now in all fours again. And then let's take the left leg forward. Come on the top of that right foot, leaning it down, slowly coming through. And you're coming through with resistance, like that whole leg is suctioning up in, and you feel that in the perineum, and you feel that all in the pubic bone and the whole deep groin. It's suctioning the leg in. Contracting the back of the leg and the front of this right leg. And then now let's just see if we can relax a little bit the front leg, but feel the back is still contracted. Lifting the chest, and then come back. Take the hands down and tuck the toes. We'll come back into downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale. All right, lift the heels, take the knees down, and now we're going to take the right leg forward again, and we're going to just do the same thing, but we'll just see if we can notice a few more details. So tugging on the top of that foot, suctioning that whole leg into the groin, and feel from the kidney region that's pulling you back slightly, a little bit more. And see if you can keep the contraction of the back line of the leg and just relax a little bit the front of the groin of the left. Back and through, slowly moving that right leg back. And let's take the left foot forward. Tugging it down and tugging, it's like bringing the mat forward and a little bit over to the side, and that helps to plump up and contain the lower back. And bring that kidney awareness to bring the back back and just slightly relax the front of the right leg. And then come back. Take ourselves into downward dog. Inhale. Exhale. Pause and just breathe. And then lift the heels, come down onto the knees, and let's come into child's pose. Inhale, come up. So let's just move the blanket. We can have a couple of different options. We're going to lay on our belly and we'll lift the legs up behind us. So how is it going to feel when we come down? Some people have just even laying on their abdomen, it's already too hard for them. Like the low back starts to feel a bit pinched, just even laying on the ground. Even though we'll be making a focus of the pubic bone smooshing down to the ground as a way of lengthening the low back, sometimes it's still just not enough care. So you can take this and fold it up so that it's much thicker and lay on it so that your thighs are coming off, but your pubic bone is on it. So this could be a position that you're in while you're doing these moves. And that'll just elevate and take away some of the strain for the low back. So do that or just lay completely flat down. Bring the arms forward and either come on your chin or the forehead. And let's just see that the heels are falling out to the side for a couple of breaths. And then suction them in like you're feeling the whole perineum and the whole sitting bones are suctioning it in so that the heels now face the sky. And you're on the tops of the feet and just lift and lower this left leg. Lift and down and lift and down and lift and down, lift and down. One more, lift and down and relax. Suction them back up so that the heels face the sky and the back. So the knees face the sky and you have your pubic bone down, and we'll go to the right leg and lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, and lift and lower. One more, and down and out. Take the arms out to the side and we'll find this here. So if you're finding it's too much, you can just do one leg lift and not all the 5 that we're doing, or you can just lay here and concentrate on bringing the pubic bone down to the ground. Okay, let's suction those legs in, pubic bone down, and the hands are staying down, and we'll go to the left. Lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down. Right side, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down, lift, down. One more, lift and down. Make a little pillow for your head. Turn your head over to the side. Up, turning to the other way. And then come back into the center. Take the arms to parallel to the side. And now we're going to just like lift the left arm onto the back and the right arm onto the back, and we'll clasp the hands. And now we're going to lift the head and the shoulders, if that works for you, and move the hands in the direction of the feet as we lift both legs and just hold. Okay, so suction in and inhale and lift. And then come down. Take the hands by the chest, pushing up, moving your blanket to the side, and we'll come back into downward dog. Tucking the toes, setting yourself up smartly, and go slowly. Inhale, exhale, down dog. And then come down. So here we're going to maybe bring the blanket open again, and also you may wish to have another block for the hip, because I want to come into pigeon pose, and sometimes we want to have a block that's going to come under our bent kneed legs hip. So I'll show you that. So we'll first come into the knees on the blanket, if that suits. And then we're going to bring this right leg forward. So it's right here where I bring my shin, because I can, parallel to the front edge of the mat. And then what if I need to have this right hip elevated, and that I hold myself up and I don't go down, or I do go down? Or do I need that shin bent more closely down towards my groin? Whichever way we're looking at it, we want to imagine that this heel is in line with the outside edge of the opposite groin. Okay, so let's come into that position. Pause with a bit of a back bend, bringing the pubic bone forward through and up. Hands are supporting, tugging the top of the back foot, that left foot, tugging it down and a bit over to the center line of the body. Bring the kidneys to bring the upper back into more of a back bend. And then slowly lower down if you can. I make a nice pillow for my forehead with my hands. You're still active with the top of that left foot, plumping up the lumbar spine, and you're feeling that the legs are suctioned up into the groin like we were doing when we were laying back doing the Shalabhasana style leg lifts. So this way we're feeling a bit more length in the lumbar spine. Okay, stay here for a few more breaths. Notice the breathing as this is my breath in, and this is my breath out. Using an inhale breath in your hands to support, coming around, taking this right knee back, moving this block to the other side if you're going to be needing it for that other side of that hip. taking the left leg forward. And we'll pause in the back bend. So we're on the top of the back foot, it's going down, and the legs are suctioning into the groin. Pubic bone feels like it's coming forward through and up. And from the kidneys, draw yourself back, a little bit more of an upper back bend. Breathe. And then coming down. Keep the downward lean and tug of that back foot. Suction the bones into the groin, creating nice wide quality and a plumpness through the pelvis. Inhale wide beyond the skin. And exhale deep into the sense of your core or center. Inhale and use your hands and shift your weight over to the left and bring your right leg around. We're going to go down on our backs. You can shift your blanket if you'd like to be a soft landing for the back. So when you're in these poses, and I'm suggesting that you're suctioning everything up, and we're not always having to maintain that kind of level of tension. We can do that, and then all of a sudden the muscles just naturally maybe want to relax, but you're protecting it from some tension or some inequities, where we have some muscles that don't know how to contract next to muscles that only know how to contract. So we're first contracting them all, and then we're building trust in that shaping. So that's what you're going to be just looking at, like as your own yoga, your own mind, and your own medicine. All right, so on our backs and bringing the belts or the straps that we had, taking on the balls of the feet, and let the legs be away from you on an angle, so they're not straight up and down and they're not coming in. We're letting them bounce on this nice little angle away from us, massaging the back of the pelvis. And then come to stillness. Take them on the figure eights, the horizontal figure eights. And then come back into the center and let them just pause. Slowly, from that ease of the back body and the ease around the legs where we're not contracting, just see where the legs want to coming in towards you. And just the weight of your arms, not a pulling of the arms, just an easy weight like a wet draped towel. And sometimes I'll suggest that we keep the back of the pelvis smushed and flattened down, but here you can even just let the tail kind of come up a little bit towards you, towards the ceiling. Keeping the right leg in the belt, and start to lean that foot in the belt as you slowly lower this left leg down, keeping the knee facing the ceiling so it doesn't go out to the side. And you can keep that leg hovering if you'd like, or you can take the heel down and anchor it and tug so that the knee is bent. So we have this slightly active quality so that we're still maintaining that plump but actively plump back of the pelvis. Keeping this right foot in the belt or holding onto the mat and taking the foot just out to the side without the use of the belt. Just to where it can go, where we don't lift this left hip up, it's all nice and stabilized like this. Chin's tucked in. And then take the heel down, that left heel if it is up, and bring this right leg across. And then we're just going to pulse that leg over and over, all the way from this right hip. And find one more pulse. Push a little bit, and then come back. Bring both legs back up to the ceiling. Take the belt. First, let's just start at that nice 45 degrees or whatever that angle ends up being. So something that's not straight up and down. So you're relaxing all the muscles in the back of the pelvis, the legs, through your breathing. And slowly, with lots and lots of ease, just stopping wherever you start to feel the tension build. Like I might be able to bring myself up to my legs, or I might be able to bring my legs closer to my face, but I'm just stopping here. Releasing just the right leg, lowering it to the ground, pushing a bit now with the left foot to the belt. Keeping it in the belt or just taking it out on its own. And taking it up, lower the right foot to the ground and pulse this left leg away and away and away. Come back up. Rock a couple times and take both the legs up. Now you can hold it with the belt, so you can have your hands underneath or inside the legs to hold them where they are like this. Lean out with the big toe mounds, sort of showing or showcasing this inner arch and the upper part of the foot, so that you can feel that there's like a bit of an inward rotation or kind of a straightening out of the leg. So it's not an outward rotation, which we can do, but for here we're going to just have them more inwardly rotated as an action. And then bring the legs together, knees into chest, pause and breathe, be at ease. And then just lay out for Shavasana unless there's something else your body is requiring. So just check in to see. Long breath in and a long breath out, followed by more shallow breathing. and relax in your shaping of Shavasana. Consciously relaxing the mind and the body, but staying clear. Namaste.